Hey up Photo Pips, and welcome back to the channel. But more importantly, welcome to the review lounge. This is now going to be the area where I'm going to start doing my reviews. It's lit well. I've got my mat here. I'm going to be able to get in close using the GoPro sessions. Mic set up, everything's perfect. The only thing that's probably missing is the decor. Maybe get a couple of pictures on the back here. But other than that, it's looking good. So I thought I'd get started, and the first thing I'm going to get started with is the Beschoi adapter. Now, if you've been following the YouTube channel, you'll know that I recently moved from a Canon to Fuji. Got rid of my 5D Mark III along with all my lenses, all my wedding kit, and basically cashed it all in at the photography show at the NEC this year. So after looking on Facebook pages for Fujifilm users, I stumbled across a guy that had took a photograph of dog fur, and it just got him really close, and he'd put on it that he'd used his Canon macro lens along with an adapter. Not this specific adapter, but just an adapter. Now this one I purchased on Amazon. It cost me £13. And I thought, well, it's just a bit of fun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it on. I'm going to show you how it works, because there's a couple of things you have to do in camera before it actually works. I'm going to then whack the macro lens on, and I'm going to go outside in the garden, take some macro pictures just to see how it fares while it's stuck on the front of the Fuji. But I'm sure it's going to be okay. Now, one of the downsides is with this, to adjust the aperture you need to put it onto a Canon body. Now this was originally wide open, but what I've done is I've set it to f9. Now the way you do that is, I can't show you because I'm recording this. You just put it onto your body of your Canon, set your aperture at what you want, f9, f10, whatever you think's going to be good for your macro photography. I've just gone for, I think it was F10, I think it was F10, okay. Nothing works, so you've got no autofocus, you've got no image stabilization, you've got nothing, so it's all manual, which is how I shot this lens anyway, because it was a nightmare on a mirrorless body. It used to hunt and it used to make all these strange noises, so it's not going to be any different for me. So we've spoke about the aperture. Now I've told you it's all manual only. I'm going to show you how to mount it. It's dead easy. You get your red dot to your red dot. Locks in, and it's really a really tight fit. It's beautiful. Okay. Now the important thing here, what we need to do is to set the Fuji up. And the way we do that is, it's dead easy. You go into your menu system, you go to your user settings, which is the spanner or ratchet. You go to button and dial settings, then you need to scroll down 2 pages, page 1, page 2, and you see where it says shoot without lens. That needs to be active. And that's it. So basically what the camera now thinks is there's no lens on, because it doesn't pick it up anyway. And now we can just put the lens on and use it manually. But what I want to do is I want to go out into the field and have a quick play. See how we get on. Okay guys, so I'm out in my garden, so there's no excuse. You can get out, you can shoot in your back garden, you can use your macro lens. Now there's a few things that I've seen. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to shoot because it's raining and I don't really want to be out here with all the kit. So I've seen this little feather that is going to be quite an interesting shot, I think. Let me just see if I can get it for you. You see, so we've got this feather in water. That's going to be nice. I've got some moss on these balls here, look. Okay, that's again, that should work out really well. Now inside this bin there used to be a snail, look, so that should be okay. Also, look at this, look, rain, but the thing I'm worried about is this little breeze. Gonna have to be quick with that. So we've got some nice big bubbles on here and the leaf. Last but not least, I've got, see this, look, it's like layers of fungus, so that could be interesting. And then the only other thing is just to have a scout round, see if I can find a spider or something like that. Should work well. It's going to also give the adapter a good run out along with the macro lens, which I've not used for an age, and I do love macro photography. It's another world completely. So let's have a look. Like I say guys, there's no excuse. If you're shooting macro, get out in your garden. There's all sorts of little things. If you've not got a garden, local park, any piece of grass where, you know, even little flowers that are just growing, go for a walk around your estate. I'm sure there's going to be something to shoot. Just keep an eye on the weather. Whew. Am I glad to be back in the house? The weather's just so crazy at the minute. I don't know what the hell's going off. So this is the setup I would have used outside, but because of the rain I didn't want to really take the Rogue flash bender out. So I just went out, set the camera up to how I wanted it, came in, grabbed the flash and just fired off the shots. But I think they might be a little bit harsh. We're going to have a look in a minute just to see how they've turned out. But also what I want to do is show you how a macro lens, or what a macro lens looks like through the lens of a camera. And this is obviously, you need a true one-to-one macro lens. The deceiving thing about macro lenses is that you'll buy a kit lens or you'll get a kit lens, and when you go right as far as you can on the ring, it will say you're in macro. But it's not macro as such, it's just allowing you to get that little bit nearer to your subject. You need a proper one-to-one macro lens, and I'll tell you now, this lens is absolutely brilliant. If you've not seen the review when I was Canon shooter, take a look, because the lens is fantastic. Now, I'd never shot macro before, but I was always intrigued about macro photography. I just think it's a completely another world. You just lose yourself in it. It's brilliant. So have a look and see what you think. But the downside with macro is you need to shoot at eye apertures, which if you've not got a good flash system, a lot of people use things like a ring flash or a ring flash adapter, but this setup here is the first time I've used it, obviously, because I never had the adapter. For me, superb, 10 out of 10. So let me show you what it's like when you're shooting through the this macro lens. I mean, the way to use a macro lens is just to bob backwards and forwards until you get your focus spot on, because you have to be inch perfect every time. So with focus peaking as well, that really helps. What you get with focus peaking is, with the Fuji, you can choose between 3 or 4 different colours. Now I've just chose the red because it just shows up so well. But I think you've got white and blue. And what you're meant to do is, with this as well, you focus peak and then you get your manual focus line where you just come in and whatever your focus is on and it's perfect, it lights up red across your field, your depth of field. So that is what you need to remember. And there it is. What else can I say? This £13 Baschoi adapter has allowed me to use my Sigma 1-to-1 macro lens once again, which has been an absolutely brilliant lens in the past, and I'm so pleased that it just cost me £13, because it's the way I use my macro lens anyway. So with that in mind guys, I hope you've enjoyed my first review in the review lounge, and don't forget, get out and shoot. You know you want to. Cheers guys. Thank you.